Right, howdy doody do. It's another brew day video. This one here, however, is a very different brew day video to what I've done before. This is a first for me. And I've always wanted to do this, never got around to doing it, never found that I'd be able to spend a whole day brewing. So yes, this is my first ever double brew day. So the reason I did this was I have got a five tap Keezer now, and I wanted to get to a point where I would happily have 5 kegs on tap, all pretty full, and then I could just pick and choose from which ones I want, and then as one runs down I can then top it up nice and easy. But I just wasn't getting there. I just wasn't, I wasn't brewing in regularly enough, doing one batch at a time, just wasn't doing it. I had 2 taps that were empty, so I thought sod it, do a double brew day, get them both filled up, and we're all good to go. So that's exactly what I did. The aim was I wanted to do a really light, really sessionable, more sessionable than the last one I did, a sessionable pale ale. I decided to go for a smash beer, a proper smash beer this time, not the bullshit I did last time. And I wanted to go with a stout. I've got a nitro and CO2 mix tank, so I wanted to do something I could put on nitro, so really nice, moderate strength stout that would pour well on nitro. So that's exactly what I did. Anyway, look, here's the brew day. It's going to be quite long because obviously it's 2 brews, and then what we'll do is when we get to the end of the brew day, we will come back and I will do a taste test for both of the beers because they're both ready and I'm drinking both of them now. So let's get started, get this over and done with, and then you can see what the beers are like at the end. So we're going with a nice and simple milk stout today. So the recipe we got here is 5 kilos of pale malt, so Maris Water 4, 800 grams of wheat malt, 400 grams of roasted barley, 250 grams of 120 crystal malt, 250 grams of oats, and 200 grams of black patent malt. So I've got some lactose I'm going to be adding. It says 0 there, I normally add it when there's 15 minutes left in the boil, just at the end of the boil. And I've got some small amount of Cascade and small amount of Centennial going in for some bittering. A really simple recipe. Haven't done a stout for a while, so the intention is to get this done and whack this on the nitro tap on my Keezer. So let's get on with a brew day. Okay, so we have been matching for half an hour now, so we have just started doing the recirculation, which I'm going to run for half an hour or so. And look how black these silicone tubes are. We've got the recirculation running, nice dark liquid, very dark brown, but it looks jet black in these tubes. Look at that, beautiful colour. Anyway, half an hour of this, and then we are ready to run off. Alright, so we are running off. Whew. I am waiting for the water level to go down. I'll start sparging again. So you can see I'm sparging with the spray ball today. I don't know what's going on. So the flow from this seems to really slow down. I've checked all of the connections. It works fine through the spray ball, but something's happened in here, so I'm going to take this apart and have a look at it. Bloody sparge arms seem to be the bane of my brewing life. I've never found a perfect sparging solution yet. So going to carry on. Levels have gone down to this, so let's turn this pump on. Get this sparge working. Maybe I just end up sticking with something like this in future, who knows. At least this bloody works. Yeah, going to keep on sparging until we get the level that we want. Okay, here we are. See, we've got just over about 29 litres in the boil kettle. Still got a slow run off happening from the mash tun. Get the last little bits out. Got about another, I don't know, 15 minutes before this will start. The hop break kicks in, and then I will chuck in the first hop additions. That looks like a really nice hot chocolate. Smells like that in here as well. Smells so roasty and chocolatey in here. It's amazing. Anyway, see you in 20. Okay, so we're halfway. Half an hour left. We now have 20. Well, it's 23 grams of Centennial going in. Whoosh. Oh yeah. Alright, if you saw my last video, you saw that I am getting to kind of like 35 degrees and losing patience with my thermometer when I'm chilling my wort. So I thought I'd just test. I've got some strike water here for another brew, which I was going to do 2 brews today, which is currently set at 75 degrees because I've got the Inkbird thermometer in it. On this thermometer it says 90, so I know that my thermometer here is just totally off and giving me wrong readings. Okay, so brew number 2. So we have 4 kilos of pale malt. This is Golden Promise. We're going to do a nice, really sessionable, just below 4% smash, basically. Golden Promise and Mosaic. That's all I'm sticking in this. Nice and simple. What I'm going to do here is I'm just filling up the mash tun. Last little bit of water is just about to go in, so I'm going to turn off this. I'm going to turn off the pump, and I'm going to turn off the flow from the boil kettle to turn it off for now to stick the noise down in the background. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the mash, going to stir this, break up any dough balls. I am then going to pop out for a couple hours with my son, leave this to sit for a 2-hour mash, just because it's convenient. And then when I come back, we're going to start doing the do a quick 10-minute boil off, like a recirculation, and then we will do the run off and get the boil going, so I can minimise the amount of time this takes up, considering I've been brewing a stout all morning. My first ever double brew day. Okay, so just got back from a bike ride with my son, and we've been sitting at mash now for an hour and 45 minutes. We have dropped down a little bit. We're at 64 degrees, so I've set everything up now so that I can do a recirculation. So I'm going to switch that on, get recirc happening, bring the temperature up to 66 probably for another 15 minutes, and then start doing the runoff into the boil kettle, which is clean from the previous boil earlier today. Cool, easy as that. Right, we're recirculating. We have quite a nice full mash tun, and we have a good runoff happening. So I'm going to leave that to run for 15 minutes. Then we're going to swap things over and get it into the boil kettle. Okay, didn't end up filming it because you've seen it all before. I did a sparge. I've just finished doing the runoff. I now have a very full looking boil kettle with about 29 litres of nice light coloured wort. Just waiting for it to come up to the right boil temperature, so we get the hot break, and then I'm going to set the timer, and then we are going to add 30 grams of Mosaic at the 15-minute mark, and then we're going to do 30 grams of Mosaic at the whirlpool for 30 minutes, just to get the beer up to the right IBUs, which is, I believe, something like 39, I think it was. And then we got some nice dry hopping to happen on day 7 and day 3, 100 grams each. So really simple recipe, really simple brew, allows me to get on and do other things while these things are happening. I'm going to let this cool down again and chuck this on the compost shortly so I can clean out the mash tun. So far so good. Here we are, hot break's just kicked in. So I'm going to set the timer now for half an hour. I think half an hour. No, sorry, 45 minutes. And then at the 15-minute mark, we will chuck in 30 grams of mosaic. Boom! Okay, here we are at the 15-minute mark. And we have our first top edition. We have 30 grams of mosaic. I'm going to chuck that in. And seeing as I am not brewing this to be a clear beer, it's a smash, so there's no oats or anything have gone into it. I am going to chuck a proto flock into it so we can see if we can get this to go clear. There we go. Right, another 15 minutes and it'll be flame out, and then I'll chuck in the Whirlpool Editions, which is only another 30 grams of mosaic. Okay, we are at the 60-minute mark. I'm getting ready to turn off the boil kettle. Actually, let's just do that now. So it's off. Stop seeing it bubble in a minute. You'll notice that I've got my temperature probe back on the side of the boil kettle. I was going to take the thing apart to try and figure out what was wrong with it, and then I found out that there's a nut on the back of it which you can turn, and it recalibrates the dial. So I have recalibrated it against my digital thermometer, which I've got for my Inkbird, and it is now working as expected. So fingers crossed, this should be okay. It's recalibrated. The temperature on here now at 100 degrees is the same as the temperature I'm getting on the probe, on the Inkbird, sorry. So, oops, mind that finger. Hopefully everything's okay. So I'm now going to get the cold water running through the chiller and get this down to 80 degrees before I get ready to stick the Whirlpool hops in. So we have our Whirlpool kicked in. May want to up the force of that a little bit. I'm now going to chuck in 30 grams of mosaic for the Whirlpool. I'm going to leave that now for 20 minutes. This is at 80 degrees, apparently. Hopefully it is. And then while that's happening in the background, I've got some hot water heating up so I can run a load of sodium percarbonate through the boil kettle to clean it off and clean the whole system through afterwards, clean all the pumps and everything like that. So that'll be the job after with this bad boy's finished. So 20 more minutes at Whirlpool, and then we're going to chill it down to fermenting temperature. Alright, pretty happy that the thermometer is starting to work. It is working now. We've been chilling now for 15 minutes. We're down to 33 degrees. So I reckon another 10 minutes and I'll be down into the mid-20s, ready for pitching. 28 degrees. I'm going to go get all of the fermentation vessel ready, and then we're going to extract all of this lovely wort and stick it in the fermenter. Alright, got a gravity reading in. If you can see that quite clearly, it is, so the bubbles are hiding the line, but it's on 1.042, so it's just a smidgen. If it ferments down, I'm going to use US-05, which normally I find it's got really good attenuation and ferments down to about, a beer like this, about 1.010. So if it ferments down to that mark, I've got just over a 4% beer, like a 4.1, 4.02, something like that, I don't know, 4%, about 4%, which is perfect because that's what I was aiming for, around about 4% mark. So very pleased so far. Today, something in my process has got a bit better because both the brews I've done have come out higher than their expected gravity. Not by much, but enough to make me happy. Anyway, so we're currently running off into the we're running off into the fermenter. Once this is finished, I'm going to sprinkle the US-05 in and chuck it in the fermentation chamber and then start washing all this up. So here we are, 2 beers. We've got the stout down the bottom there, and we've got the smash at the top here. Stout was started with a vitality starter. There's already a bit of tension in the lid, and you can tell there's activity in there, which is great after only a few hours. And the pale ale or the smash that I did, it's already got a bulging lid. That's the USO5, which I know usually kicks off quite quickly. But pretty sure these are going to turn into 2, hopefully, nice beers. But yeah, nice full fermentation fridge. Oh yeah. Okay, not too bad. Considering it was a double brew day, it went really well. I was really happy with it. You know, had some troubles with the what is it, the shower head thing. I've since gone through that, and I noticed that the fitting in, there was something blocking the fitting in, the flow in. So I've cleaned all that out. It should be good for my next brew day now, which is tomorrow. So that'll be okay, and I'll be using that again. But yeah, you know, a double brew day. Actually, see, it's easier than doing one brew at a time on different days, because there's less cleaning. You know, you're just cleaning it out enough for the next brew, and it just seemed a lot easier. I didn't seem to be too bothered by a long brew day. Yeah, had a little bike ride in the middle of it when I took my son out. All good. It was okay. Anyway, what we want to see is the products that came out at the end of it. Now, I'm going to show you the smash beer first, because that's what I'm drinking more than the stout, which I think the stout needs a little bit longer, but we'll go for the smash beer. So this is it. This is a beautiful, let's put it there where you can see it, beautiful Golden Promise and Mosaic smash. This was using they both used USO5 actually, so this is using USO5, attenuated down to 1.010, came out at 4.2%, so slightly higher than I was going for. I was going for just below 4% or 4%, so it's slightly higher, but no, it's not a problem. You can see it's lovely, it's carbonated nicely. You can't really see any bubbles in there. There's just a very gentle flow of bubbles. You know, nice clarity, but very slight haziness. It's a lovely pale colour, as you'd expect, having just Golden Promise malt going into it. Yeah, I mean, on the, you know, looks wise, it looks exactly what you'd expect to see from a Golden Promise smash beer. You know, everything kind of says that. Now let's see what the smell's like. Obviously, this is Mosaic, and that's such a beautiful hop, and you get it straight away. Mosaic, like, it's like peachy passion fruit, lovely fruity aromas, really nice. Just smells so inviting. It really does. You know, you just want to put your nose up to it. You just want to guzzle a good old mouthful of this. So now that we've got the aroma, you know, really clean, lovely aroma. Let's give it a taste. Let's dive in. Really nice, really crisp. I've got the keys are set to 3.4, so it's quite cold, but really nice and crisp, really fresh, lovely, gentle, citrusy kind of tastes. A slight bitterness at the back of the throat, which I think is what accentuates that kind of citrusy taste that you get. But it's lovely and soft and gentle on the tongue as it's flowing into your mouth. Really quaffable beer. I'm really pleased with that. I've never done a really gentle light beer like this before, and I'm going to do it again. I really like it. It's really nice when you want to sit down and have 2 or 3 beers and not get smashed. So yeah, very pleased with that. Anyway, let's move on to the stout. Oh yeah, looks good, eh? So here we are with the stout. As you can see by that beautiful tight head and that slow flowing bubbles, it's on nitro. Oh yeah. So you know, it looks the part. Lovely dark black, lovely black colour, lovely beige creamy head, like so smooth. You know, as you'd expect with nitro. You know, you'd expect it to be just like that. Anyway, let's give this a smell and see if we're getting anything on the nose. Now, straight away, one thing I did with this, which I didn't video, excuse me a minute, that's the smash. One thing I did with this, which I didn't put on the video, was I put some vanilla into the keg when I kegged it. I thought that the kind of the aromas that I was getting from the finished beer before I stuck it in the keg just seemed perfect for sticking some vanilla in there. So I put some vanilla in. You're not getting it very strong on the nose. I'm getting mostly like chocolate, really chocolatey. But there is, you can still smell the vanilla. Sorry, it's got a notification on my phone. Yeah, you can still smell the vanilla, but it's kind of accentuating the kind of the sweetness that you're expecting. It smells sweet. Yeah, it makes it smell sweet. So it's chocolate and vanilla. It really is nice. Yeah, lovely. So let's see what it tastes like. Yeah. Now you get so chocolatey. It's like really chocolatey, lovely. The vanilla's there. You can taste the vanilla. There is a bitterness there. There's probably the hops. Let's have a look at the recipe I've got here. See what hops I put into it. Cascade and Centennial. So it went for an IBU of, it's about 32 IBUs, which isn't massive. I put some in the 60-minute boil, so you're going to get some bitterness in there, and then some at the 30 minutes. So, it's not too bad. There is a slight bitterness. Maybe I think you'd want that from if this was it's not really a dry stout. I've called it an oat milk vanilla stout because it's got the oats in it. It's got lactose in it. It's got vanilla in it. So I thought oat milk vanilla worked really well. The bitterness, I like it. I think it adds to the mix of flavours that you've got there. You've got the sweetness, you've got the vanilla, you've got the chocolate, a little bit of bitterness kind of adds, and lets you know that you're drinking a beer and not a soft drink. My wife, I'm not sure my wife will like it that much. She doesn't really like bitter drinks. I think as it ages, she'll probably like it a little bit more. But yeah, I think, I've almost got what I was hoping to get from this one. I think the bitterness is probably the one thing that maybe lets it down a little bit for my liking, to be honest. But I'm happy to stick with that. I don't mind. I'll still drink it. It's got a lovely mouthfeel, and the shed doors blowing around in the wind. I need to oil it, yeah. But yeah, it's a nice beer. 6.6%. It's not, it's not sessionable, but it's not one of those beers you're going to want to drink too much of. I think one's probably enough. But yeah, it's come out nice. I'm happy with it. It's going to sit on the nitro keg for quite a while anyway, probably. So we'll see what it's like as it ages. Maybe it just tastes a little bit too fresh at the moment because it's only been in the keg 2 weeks. Normally you want to leave something like a stout aging for at least 30 days. So maybe I'll see what it's like in another couple of weeks. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed seeing me go through a momentous, a very busy brew day. For me it's momentous because it was the first time I did a double brew day. Anyway, I'm going to sit and enjoy this beer, and I will see you next time. Take care.